Welcome to Everything's Fucked podcast, where you haven't been fucked till you've heard everything's fucked. You're here with Monica.
And Asia.
You ready for a little chit chat?
I am. I got some shit to get off my chest.
Oh God, I'm out.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. This is the positive space. We're in a positive bubble here.
Not on the chit chat. I'm just kidding.
Yes, we're not.
No, I'm in a good headspace today. I feel like, we're so close to Christmas. I think that's the only big stressor right now, right?
Yeah. Oh my
just
gosh.
Getting that over with.
Reed and I took like the stress out of Christmas, and we just decided like we're not doing all the gift shit this year. We're not participating in all the extra shit. We're just focusing on like our like family, right?
Yeah.
And so, oh my gosh, we were like laying in bed and he's like, you know what's like so nice? I haven't been stressed about Christmas, about like having to get people gifts or like worrying about the whole gift giving process, because it's not even like you're getting people gifts. You're also like stressed out about like, are they going to like my gift? Or what if they gift me something bigger than what I gift them?
Yes.
And then it becomes like there's only one person I bought a gift for outside of Ramona, and it's one of my sisters. We always buy each other gifts. And even I'm like, I know she's going to like it. And I know she wouldn't complain if she didn't. But even in my head, I'm like, I don't know that I got her a good gift this year. I really feel like I didn't put enough effort into it. Maybe I really should have like done X, Y, and Z. Or, like what if she's super bummed out by it because she really loves gifts? And so I just don't want to, I don't want to participate
so it really
in
does.
that.
Yeah, it really does spin you out. Me, it's more like getting everything prepared because I got the 3 kids. So it's just like, I'm not buying for anybody else. I didn't buy for anybody else. I bought for my mom. I got her, all her favorite candies. I'm going to make her like a little gift basket thing for her, because I know she doesn't go and spoil herself ever. She just she never goes and gets herself munchies, you know what I mean? And so she can have something in her bedroom for when she has a sweet tooth or whatever. But that's it. I didn't do anything for anybody else, not even my grandmother this year, because it's just that tight. But all the gifts I got Scarlett were from the thrift store. So I still have to, I'm waiting for like the things to come in, like the new grips for her bike that I got at the thrift store. I got that water table. I got to clean that thing out at some point because it's old. It's like not old, but it's dirty from the previous user. Or owner. So those kinds of things are stressing me out. And like, just regular life. I feel like everybody's going through that though. I conducted a few polls over the weekend.
Asia and her polls.
We just want to get a feel for the community.
Can we rename you, give you a nickname, call you Polly?
Yeah, there you go. I like that. No, I think that it's important to see where everyone's at, and like everyone is broke or sick or both right now, and it's just a really hard time of year. Like there's lots of illnesses going around. I know my family's been sick again this week. It's just taking you out of work, it's taking you out of everything, and it's just making everything that much harder, and when everything's already hard. So it's just been but there's been a lot of good things happening too, Good.
Like, I was like, we got to focus on the good things too. Not that I don't like that toxic positivity where it's like negate all the negative things that are going on in your life. But sometimes I think if we start like spinning out on those negative things and we forget to look at the other things that are going on, we just like, it's just like buries us.
Start with the hard and end with the good. It's just hard right now, but there's so much good going on. Like I see so much good. Like my mom got to see my daughter Rebecca, and could take her some Christmas gifts, and that relationship is starting to blossom again, which is awesome for both of them. I'm honestly really, really elated about it and excited to know that they're getting back in touch and getting reconnected and finding their relationship again. And my mom like took her some gifts. I didn't participate. I helped her pick them out because I know my daughter's body size and her shoe size and all of that, but I didn't participate in purchasing them.
I like how you said body size instead of clothing size.
Body size. We have body size. So basically I went with my mom to thrift stores and stuff and picked her out some things, and my mom took them to her.
Nice.
With like a toiletry kit and all that kind of stuff. So she was really excited. We got her like, watermelon body scrub and stuff like that. And so, normalizing, to take a shower, feel good, feel pretty, you know what I mean? Because I know she hasn't been doing that for herself lately. So she was really excited. And my mom showed me the text message that she sent later, which was like basically saying, thank you for loving me unconditionally, loving me for who I am and not judging me or my appearance or where I live, and just being there for me because you're my grandma and you love me. Like the unconditional love is, I feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was
Good. Oh,
really
I'm
cool.
glad to hear that, because that's really hard, I think, for people to sometimes like pull themselves away from like where somebody else is at and just be
Hmm.
like, hey, I don't care how you show up. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. The judgment's not there for us. Me and my mom, we're just the least judgmental people. And I'm not judging anything to do with how she lives her life or anything. I want to be a part in some capacity, and this is how I'm a part. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I can, basically support my mom in their relationship now.
I just found a whisker. I'm sorry.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I think I
I
have
can
a
feel
couple
it.
too. There was one here yesterday and I was being so fucking lazy. I didn't even pluck it. I was just playing with it. I was just
I
like
just like,
twirling
I
it.
know that's what I was doing. I was like, get your hand
It's
off your
right here.
face.
We'll do it together. We'll play with our
Okay.
whiskers.
You guys, it's
We're just
just
gonna a whisker
fine.
moment,
That's
okay?
the rest of this episode. Um,
We have hairy faces. Just
it's
normalize
fine.
that shit.
It
It's all right.
happens. I feel the I'm not really super stressed out about the holidays. There's just like little things here and there, but
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm thinking about the most is like I've decided not to drink recently,
Yeah.
and it's just such a big part of socializing. And I know I can do it because I've gone like more than 30 days without drinking. But I think I'm like working on reevaluating my whole relationship with alcohol and what it means not to drink and how that impacts me through society and how that impacts me in socialization and
Your
social
relationships.
settings and
Yeah, everything.
relationships. Yeah. And I don't know. I just like kind of sat down and really like took a big look at it. And I'm like, what do I care if somebody doesn't like that I'm drinking? That's probably a reflection of something they feel about themselves and their own journey and
Yes.
feelings about alcohol.
Exactly.
And it's not like I'm over here kind of like, oh, well, I'm sober, like I'm not drinking. So like you
You're
can't
not
drink around me or anything like that.
no.
It's not like that for me. And I think too, like some people, like they think of like addiction as being this like I've hit rock bottom, like my life has
Yes.
spun out. And I don't look at it that way. And I feel like there's a lot of decisions that I'm making that make me feel like my relationship with alcohol is just really toxic and negative. And like for instance, I have a stomach ulcer and I've had it since last year. And instead of like healing my gut and like making sure that I'm good, I'm like still drinking, which is like
Yes.
one of the main things you're supposed to
Not
cut out
supposed
of
to
your
do.
diet.
Yeah.
And so I'm choosing alcohol, which makes me feel like shit, over taking
Your
care of
digestive
my
system.
own well-being. Yeah. And I mean, a stomach ulcer is really
It's
painful. I don't
really
know.
painful.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, what is making you choose this basic like poison basically to put into your body when you're already not feeling well, instead of putting in good things that are going to make you feel like what's going on there? So,
It's a very unhealthy relationship. I think that
yeah.
you're just more woke or more enlightened and more able to have these self-reflective moments than most people. Most people can't. Most people can't. They just can't look at themselves that deeply like you're doing. You're
I
going
don't
inward and you're like really looking and you're like basically listing the reasons you
I
should
don't know if
be
it's
doing
like
all of that.
a lack of ability to self-reflect. I think it's a feeling of being like ostracized almost for something that society deems as appropriate. So
Yes.
you get taught from a really young age that like alcohol is part of socialization and alcohol is part of mom culture and alcohol is part of date night. And so
Yeah.
I think there's this sort of like feeling that some people have is like, well, I already feel like maybe I'm lonely, or I feel like maybe I don't quite fit in. And this is like one thing that sort of grounds me to other people. And they look at it as being like, if I take this thing away, now who am I in society and who am I in my ability to like connect with other people? Because we're kind of just told like, that's your connection. Like alcohol
Yeah.
is your connection to other people.
I
So
get
I
that.
think people are able to like reflect in on themselves. I mean, not everybody, but I think people are able to do that. I just think that it's hard to put
Then
yourself in such an
change.
uncomfortable position that
Yeah.
you might feel like you are losing friends or family, or people are going to look at you side eyed and weird.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense. That makes
yeah,
sense.
that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So I think it's going to work out. I especially feel like it's going to work out for you because you're not going to walk in with this like chip on your shoulder that you're sober and everyone else around you has to be sober and nobody can have a good time because Monica's here and she can't drink anymore. And
Yeah.
if you're not like that, it's going to be fucking fine. Nobody's going to care,
feel like
man.
some
Nobody's
people
going
like
to care.
really have that boundary where they're like, I just can't be around it, you know?
Yes,
And
that's
I
my
totally
mom can be
understand
around
that.
alcohol, but she cannot be around anything else. That's the one
Yeah.
thing my mom can still, she can be in the house when my grandma's having a glass of wine. You know, she doesn't bother her at all. But if I were to like light up a joint in front of my mom, it would seriously trigger her to want to take a puff. So like everybody's different. But I think like if you walk in with this like NA or AA shit on your shoulder, it really does make everybody uncomfortable to be themselves and to drink themselves and to maybe let loose and have a good
also,
time.
I think it does make people evaluate their own relationship.
Yes.
And when you think about alcohol in and of itself, I mean, like you're literally putting poison into your body. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you are. You know what I mean?
So,
and at the same time, like pick your poison. There's so many things going on in that situation. You know what I mean? There's food. There's so many things you can be using as poison.
Exactly.
Nowadays. I mean, this is just one you've chosen to use and one you're working on. You know what I mean? That's basically what it boils down to.
I would agree with that.
You can maybe reevaluate it soon and have a healthier relationship with it after you do all this self work. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're working on it. So it may not even be an addiction. It may just be a coping mechanism you've been using this whole time. And, or like you say, a relationship thing where it's like,
or I may even just decide like, I don't want to put that into my body anymore.
Ever again.
And I'm perfectly happy not doing
without
that.
it. And then it's nothing to do with addiction or anything like that. It's just, it's for health. You know what I mean?
Reed and I, exactly. Reed and I are going to the store later. I'm finding like things I can make like mocktails and stuff like that. Cause for me, I just like the idea of like, I still like that social aspect of like
hanging out.
Yeah. And you know how much I love cocktails. And that's one of my friends asked me, they're like, well, if you're not drinking, like what's going to happen with your TikTok, like your cocktail page that you started and like is growing. And I'm like, you can make any mocktail into a cocktail.
Yes.
Like just because mine doesn't have alcohol in it doesn't mean yours doesn't have to have alcohol in it. So I'll probably still continue to do that. Although it's not like I'm really on TikTok all that often. It's sort of one of those like outlets hit or miss.
Yeah. When you see some content you really think might do well, I put it over there.
I don't even do like when I think it'll do well. I'm like, oh, I should probably post something to TikTok if I want to do anything over there. But honestly, like I freaking hate TikTok. I cannot stand it.
I don't like the algorithm, but for me, my personal algorithm, but I like TikTok watching it. Me for TikTok, if I'm making something for Instagram, I just automatically go over and make it for TikTok at the same time. And then I watch to see which one does better. And if it does really well on Instagram, it tanks on fucking TikTok.
I just like,
if it does really good on TikTok, it tanks on Instagram.
I think it's like, I have so much like other shit going on that I just cannot like devote any brain cells to social media.
I'm a creator at heart. Like it's honestly something that gives me so much. When I sit down and do stuff like that, it really is like relaxing for me.
Yeah.
I just like farm it, to watch it, to get ideas from it, to maybe think of, I should try that, or maybe I can do that. Like I love it.
My Instagram page, I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing with it anymore. And I started it for one reason and it's kind of evolved over time. And now I'm just sort of like, who am I here? Who am I on this platform? What am I doing here? Because what I was doing 2 years ago when I started it is not like who I am anymore and where I'm at in my journey. And so, there's a lot of things that I feel like I enjoy sharing over there, but for the most part, I'm not showing up the same way. No. And so I also feel like, like I have a lot of followers who started following me in the beginning, and then I'm like, oh, well, if I start changing, and then I started thinking about it, I'm like, I don't really give a shit if people are not into it, because it's my Instagram page and it's just as easy for them to hit unfollow as I do to other people.
Exactly.
When it doesn't serve me in my life anymore. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I always do a poll at the end of the year to see what my followers want to see from me next year. And they all just basically said that the reason they follow me is because I'm real, I'm relatable, I'm honest. Like I give good advice, and then they don't want me to change anything. So I was like, I would never
do that poll, because what if nobody responded to me?
Dude, it's always nerve-wracking when you throw up something like that. But
no, I'm like,
you gotta throw out, be vulnerable once in a while to see what people want. Because, I am trying to create like a safe space and a, creative environment for people. I don't know. It's just hard. It's really hard though to manage everything. It is, when you think about all the followers, you think about the podcast, my kids, my relationships, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. You know what I mean? I think
Yep.
tacking on like the collegiate sports has been the icing on the cake for me, though. I had no idea what it was going to be like a wrestling mom. And my son is not the most outgoing person. I know my daughters are, but my son just isn't. He's always been shy, reserved, introverted. When he gets around his set group of friends, he can become a little bit more, open and relaxed. And he's very funny, but he's just very shy. And so he's been really putting himself out there in wrestling. And then yesterday,
that's good.
We had this huge meltdown because he left school at 2:30 when he was supposed to and came home, and his coach called him at 4 and said, "Can you come back to school?" And he was like,
Why?
"No." He was just like, "No, I don't think I can," instead of asking his father to take him back. And so he's like, "Okay, that's fine. I need to talk to you tomorrow at 3:00. So now he gets off the phone and he's reeling. He's like, "What do you want to talk to me about?" And I'm not home.
Yeah.
And Junior's upstairs, so Lily's handling it, and she's like, "Well, why didn't you ask Dad for a ride so you could find out right now what he wanted?" You know what I mean?
Why
didn't
you
handle
ask
it?
him what he wanted?
Because he's just still learning how to navigate all these adult relationships and how to ask people for things and how to go up and say, like, "I need help." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I get home. Lily's already texted me like 7 times. And at the end, it's like, "Don't tell him I told you." You know what I mean? How kids are. And so I get home from cleaning house yesterday. I mean, I did 14 loads of laundry yesterday, at the laundromat. And then I went and cleaned a house.
Jesus Christ.
A 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. You know what I mean? It was a lot. I get home to these text messages and I walk in and my son, he can't hold it together. He doesn't want to tell me, but he has to tell me. So he's like, "My coach, this and that." And he tells me exactly how Lily did. And I'm like, "Okay." And I go, "Well, did he seem angry?" And he said, "No." I go, "Did other kids leave at the same time as you?" He said, "Yeah." I go, "Were you inappropriate at the sports luncheon at all? Did you say anything inappropriate?" And he's like, "No, I was fine. Like, everything was great." I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe he has some good news for you. Maybe it's a good thing. Calm down, And he looks right at me and he goes, "What if he wants me to wrestle on varsity tomorrow, Mom? I don't want to." And I just looked at him and I was like, "Why wouldn't you want to go wrestle on varsity? What are you talking about?" And he's like, "If he wants me to wrestle tomorrow in a tournament at varsity at 6 p.m., I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready. And I don't want to." And it was like this moment where I was like, I shifted into coach mode, like, well, you're on a team. I totally understand if your coach wants you to do that. You're on a team though. He sees something in you that you don't see in yourself. If that's the case, So I had this big old long talk with him and you could tell he felt a lot better. He was like, "You're right. If I'm just going to do whatever my coach wants me to do," because he's the coach. He knows what's best for the team, right? It's a team sport. So then he comes up later on, about an hour later, and I'm trying to let him work through this stuff on his own. He's almost 15, you know what I mean? And he comes up and he goes, "Mom, okay, I was texting my varsity buddies, okay?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like leaning in, like getting excited that he's figuring this out on his own. And he's like, "And I was asking them, like, what could he possibly want? Like what could this be? Could he be wanting me to like step up tomorrow and go to the tournament for the duels and step up into varsity?" And they were like, "Absolutely not, because the day of duels, we have to wear like a 3-piece suit to school. Yeah, that's tomorrow, bro. Like he wouldn't be having you do varsity and have you wearing basketball shorts to school." Yeah. And he felt so much better. He was like that because that was his biggest worry. So then I told Junior, I'm like, "Oh my God, he's worried about doing well." Like that's
I think it's like thing, it's a comfort zone, right? And so like you came from a coach perspective and I'm looking at it like a team lead manager perspective. And I'm like, you can say no if you don't feel comfortable doing something. Like I've trained a lot of people. And so I always tell people that, like, if you're not comfortable doing something and you're not there yet, how do we get you there? Like, what do you need to feel more comfortable in it instead of pushing people into, and sometimes people need to push, but I always feel like if you push people too hard, that's where they make mistakes. And that's where they start to not like the things that they're doing anymore, even if they liked them before. And so just like finding out like what is making you uncomfortable. Do you feel like you're not experienced enough? How do we get you more experience?
Yeah, he's not explaining it to me when we talk.
Yeah.
And this has
and
happened
maybe he doesn't even
now.
know. Maybe he doesn't even know.
He doesn't. It's just it's a lot of competition and he's scared. It's just a lot of competition and it's his first time and he's never been through any of these emotions before and he gets anxious and nervous right before each match. So he doesn't want to. Who would want to? Like if you know you're going to be set up tomorrow at 6 p.m. to go up against somebody and fight them, Like, it's a lot for any teenage boy to go through. But I also don't want him to like keep doing that over and over to the point where next year when he wants to go get on the team, the coach is like, no, because when I ask you to step up for the team and I
You
ask
don't.
you to participate,
Yeah.
you don't want to and you're
Well,
not comfortable. So
if
maybe
he
not
was a
this
good
year.
if he was a good coach, he would figure out why he wasn't
Oh no, they're
comfortable.
really good
So,
coaches. So I don't
yeah.
think I think it's going to work itself out.
Yeah.
But it's just to see him get so discouraged and want to quit so often. I'm just like, God damn, this is way harder than I anticipated. Like, it's hard watching them want to quit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially when you have $1,000 wrapped up in it.
Yeah,
So
I
it's a
know.
lot, but we're
That's
getting
too
through
much
it and he's
money.
doing really well.
Sorry.
He has, no, it's been over time, but yeah, it's been a lot. Like, you have to first $500 to get him in. And then it was the shoes, the knee pad, the head thing. And then he had to upgrade. Now that
God.
he's in tournament, he needs new headgear and new knee pad, you know, so we had to like upgrade everything. And then he needed undershirts and then the skin stuff and like all of the things because he's
Oh
had skin.
God.
Dude, it's been a whole thing. But my son's become a man over the last 4 months. I've seen the growth in him because of the coaches, and they're
Good.
all, you know, retired Marines. They're all really disciplined and stuff. So I think they're just expecting a lot from him, and he's just
Yeah.
not very disciplined. So we got to get him there, baby cakes.
You'll get him there. He'll get there.
But Lily's doing
It's
really
fine.
good. She's kicking
Good.
ass, taking names at work.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That's
Yeah.
good. It's nice when you see your kids like getting out there and kind of like paving their own way.
Yeah.
Ramona
Yeah.
still hates her school, so we're still dealing with that. But she's at least got friends. Like she's got a friend that she's been hanging out with pretty regularly the
Oh,
last
that's
month,
good.
staying
The
the
one
night
that
at her
was over
house.
the one that was
Yeah.
over the other day.
Yeah.
That's really good that she's been able to maintain that friendship for a minute.
Yeah. We'll see
I
how
love
long
that.
it lasts.
Yeah.
But I'm
No,
hopeful. Fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know. You know how she is. You know how kids like her are.
I do. I totally do, man. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. And then what else is going on? I don't know. Work's been crazy. Just lots of vacation. So lots of covering other people and like managing a team through like some, you know, low morale right now because the company we work for is going through a lot of changes, which makes things, you know,
Stressful.
stressful and more difficult. And
Is it like a almost like like an uneasiness because of all the change?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are just feeling, you know, like a little
On
irritated and
edge.
jaded and uncomfortable and feeling like they're being stretched to capacity. And managing people is like way different than
Yes, than
anything I've
being
ever done.
managed.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still being managed too. So, you
Yeah,
know,
that's the
I don't
hard
know.
part.
But
Shit
yeah,
rolls downhill and you're like in the middle of the hill now.
exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I still like it. I'm enjoying my job and feeling pretty happy there. And I feel like I'm in a good place right now, I think, between like all the stuff that I've been doing, self-improvement stuff is kind of like what I'm thinking of as like the not drinking and the vegan diet and the minimalism and the like
She's
really
on a
working
journey,
on my
folks. Get the fuck out.
finances. Yeah. And I
I'm
I
seriously over here just in my own. Just like,
yeah. I know everybody's journey is different. This
yeah,
is where I'm at right now and I'm like really like loving all of
you
it. And
should.
even like I think I've had like a really bad like relationship with money over the past couple years. Like, oh my god, did I tell you I went through my Amazon again? And
No,
I
you didn't.
like,
You told me about
dude.
last year's, but
So
not.
you can, in case you guys want to know, you can go into your Amazon account and you can download an Excel of everything you've spent your money on through Amazon. And it gives you dates and products and how much money you spent. And then you can create an Excel sort of like sum, you know, like whatever in the Excel sheets, and you can just figure out how much. So from 2016 up until the end of 2022. So what is that? 5 years. In
Mm-hmm.
5 years, $27,000
That's a
I
lot of
spent
fucking money, bro.
at Amazon. Yeah.
That's a
That would have
lot of
paid
money.
that would have paid half my student loans.
What do you buy on Amazon?
Fucking everything, man. And that's the
Oh, I
thing is
don't.
like
I don't buy anything on Amazon.
that's the thing is like I go back and I look through everything. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't have that anymore. I don't have this anymore. I don't have any of this shit anymore. I'm like, none of this stuff contributed positively to my life. It just
No.
contributed negatively to my life. And I think of like all of the money that I could have been using for other things. Like, I don't know, like I said, paying off my student loans.
Yeah,
And that's
no.
just Amazon. Like that doesn't even account for anything else that
Like
I
when you go to Walmart,
would go to the
Target, anywhere
store.
else.
Yeah. Like so much money. Or
See,
online shopping,
the
so
online
much money.
shit, the only time I ever buy on Amazon is if I need it right now, tomorrow, and I can't go to a store and get it right now, tomorrow. That's the only
Yeah.
time I use Amazon. But I prefer to go in and touch and feel what I'm going to buy. I'm way more hands-on with my purchases. So I stick to Walmart, 99-cent store. It's where I buy everything. I don't really go outside that realm. I don't even like Target.
So
You know what I mean?
I don't either. But so I don't like Walmart though either. So
Love Walmart. I can take down
I
a
don't.
Walmart. I can spend some money at a Walmart.
Not me.
In the food department.
The food department. Is that the same thing? Come
I'm
on.
a foodie, man. I just like to plan meals and
I
cook.
like that you think you're a foodie, but like the definition of a foodie is like a bougie kind of like food person. And you like,
I look at it
your
different.
definition of foodie is so different.
So different.
With your like creepy little prosciutto cheese rolls that you get in a package. Like gross.
Salami wrap.
Stop. No, what I was going to say is I started a list of like my wants, and then there's a grocery shopping list of like my needs. Like,
oh, I like that.
We're out of toilet paper, so we need toilet paper. You know, we're out of blueberries, and I need blueberries.
That was funny. I was drinking. You
Sorry.
almost saw me.
I mean, we don't really need toilet paper. Actually, we could use it. We could live without it. I don't know. Just kidding.
I mean, if you have a bidet, maybe, but that's about it.
Right. And then I put on there like, so my wants one is like the dumb shit that I want.
Yeah.
That I don't actually like. I'm not going to die if I don't have it. You know, it's just something that I'm like, this is something I'm really like that sweatshirt I sent you.
Yes.
You guys, this is a $90 sweatshirt. Like, what the fuck do I need a $90 sweatshirt for? But honestly, I'm going to save up some money and I'm going to buy it.
See? And if you do it that way where you're not like
impulsively buying it.
Spending without thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to write lists and stuff before I go to the store.
Yeah. And I started listening to another podcast, the one that I told you need to listen to. It's called
and I will today.
The Modern Minimalist. And one of the guys was saying, if it's not on his list at for the grocery store, like he doesn't buy it. He said one time he needed blueberries. He forgot to write it on the list. And he's like, walked past the blueberries. He's like, not on my list. I guess I'll have to put it on the next list.
I'm kind of the same way.
Not
I honestly, well, maybe if I walk by and I remember it should have been on the list, I'll grab it. But I really
no. He makes it very uncomfortable for himself, and I'm like, that's what I'm going to start doing.
See,
because I've created all these budgets and stuff. You guys, I'm trying to retire in 10 years. I created all these budgets and all this. Like, I have like goals and timelines for all this shit. Like a 3, 8, and 15.
It won't drive you nuts if you don't meet the goals.
I made them pretty like far out. So yeah, I think I will meet them, but yeah, I think they can be flexible. Like I'm kind of at a person, I mean, you know, with the podcast, like when we make goals, we kind of,
like,
we reevaluate them
all the time. Yeah.
And so in a
as
year
long
and
as
a
you're
half,
reevaluating, I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I think biting off too much might be overwhelming for you. That's all. You just have a lot going on. All right, cool.
I'm good.
I'm not worried about you then.
Don't worry about me.
Look at your fucking face.
I was like, until I hear what are some good signs that you should be like, Monica, I really actually am worried about you.
I don't know, but that's a good one.
I'm pretty vocal about things.
I say if I'm not online, if I'm not storying, like,
then worry about you.
Yeah, reach out. Something's wrong if I'm not online. That's for sure. What about you? There's got to be something that I would know, like a trigger point.
No, because like I'll just drop off.
You just call me
online
and cry, right? Then we know something's wrong. It's happened like once.
I was like, have I done that?
One time.
I'm like very uncomfortable with crying. So like me calling somebody and crying. One time.
So
that must have been a big one.
It was
a big one.
It was.
I remember. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the only way you know how you're not good, because you reach out. You're like, dude, I'm drowning.
And if I'm crying, I'm very definitely not good at crying in front of somebody else.
Yeah. So
I don't even like to cry in front of Reed. We've been together for 10 years.
I just make you feel comfortable, baby.
It's all that trauma. It's being told when you're younger that you're a crybaby. Oh, Monica's crying again. It's like, I have emotions.
That sucks. That happened to you? I did not know that. Yeah, no. My mom was never like that. Ever.
Yeah, that's why I was telling
all
Ramona
about crying.
I'm like, Ramona, you can cry if you
Let
want
it
to.
out.
Like, sometimes I don't want to see you crying. Like, I don't want to watch you cry. Like, you
Yeah.
can go in your room and do it, but like, don't not cry.
Yeah, like get it out. Don't hold
Yeah,
it
you need a
in.
hug. Not me. I'm like, don't look at me. My eyes are leaking.
You're so
I'm having an emotion. Yeah,
God
it's
forbid.
really uncomfortable. Mostly for me.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
Cry on command.
Have you been watching anything lately?
We watched the Survivor episode, the
Oh
Survivor
my God,
finale. I
stop.
love that kind of shit, man.
I know you do. I never got into any of those things. I never got into The Bachelor. I never got into
Oh, The
Survivor.
Bachelor was terrible. I can't watch that show.
Reality TV, like, is just not my thing. Like, I'll
No.
watch reality TV, but not like I don't know, not like that, or not like the original styles of reality TV. But Reed and I just watched a show and it was fucking dumb. And we
What?
finished it. It was called The Midnight Club. And I really like had high hopes for it. And then by the end of it, we were like, this was definitely made for like 12-year-olds or
You're like, how
teenagers.
much time did we just invest? Because we're not getting that time back.
And he was like, if a second season comes out, I'm like, I know we're not watching it.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So don't watch it upon my recommendation. I say move along.
Move along.
Just
along, you
move
guys.
along. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've just been reading a lot. I haven't been watching. I mean, and obviously listening to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, you always do that. I love that for you.
I think I read like 4 books in the last 2 weeks about veganism and sobriety.
That's why you're on a kick. I love it.
And minimalism. Oh, I got a book in the wings for that. Man, I'm getting rid of so much shit too. Oh God, it feels so good.
Has it affected your home life, all your changes?
No.
Not Ramona. She's not like, what the mom, you're on a good one.
No.
I
don't even talk to Ramona about things that I'm doing, and she's pretty freaking oblivious to things.
Oh, I like that for you.
Yeah,
I like that for you.
Unless it like directly impacts her, like there's no reason to like go on about it, you know? Like she knows that I've changed to a vegan diet, but it hasn't affected her or Reed in any way.
She hasn't wanted to switch with you?
Oh, she's so funny. She always does. And then like the next day, I'm like, you're just eating a pack of lunch meat, bro. Like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I only want to eat vegan sometimes. And I'm like, okay, like that's cool too. Like, do you.
Yeah, because you're trying different recipes and stuff and you're eating more veggies that way. But
and then I'll be like, oh, I made, such and such a thing. It's something I think she'll like. And she's like, no.
That's so funny.
I'm going to eat this cup of noodle soup. I'm like, okay. And then I'll make something like fried tofu, which I like fried tofu. And I figured out like I got a tofu press so that it can marinate correctly and like all this stuff. And so I'm like experimenting with it so I can get it perfect. And I make it. And the first batch that I make, like Reed eats a bunch of it, which was totally shocked me. And same with my roasted chickpeas that I made. And then Ramona comes in the kitchen and she's like, for the second batch I made of tofu. And she's like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, it's fried tofu, thinking she's going to be like,
ew,
and she's just over there with my chopsticks, like dipping it in the sauce and eating it. And she's like, can I have the rest? I'm like, that's half a fucking block of tofu. I guess.
You're just an amazing chef.
Honestly, that's what it is. Oh my gosh.
I've stopped cooking for my family because they're at that point where I think that I've made all my meals too many times. So I need to like revamp my whole recipes.
Yeah, you need
and like
to
go through and like write them all out and go through Pinterest and all these different places and start pulling recipes.
Do you ever ask your family like what they want to eat?
Oh yeah, every day. They all have the option. And they always, I don't know, what are you going to make? I don't know, what are you going to make? What do you have planned? And I always have a plan. I always have like 4 or 5 meals they can choose from.
They don't eat leftovers?
No, I never make enough for leftovers anymore because they refuse to eat them. It's like one of those things. My husband will eat them the next day for lunch if it's a meal he asked for. So like if my husband asked for chili rellenos or he asked for, porco de whatever, like pork with chili verde sauce, then the next day he'll take that for lunch because it's something he enjoys and he asked for it and he doesn't want it to go bad. But if it's like I make beef stew and I put that in the fridge, no one's going to eat that the next day. No one's touching the beef stew unless I break it out, I reheat it, and I make them eat it. They're not eating it. So I don't make enough to have leftovers. I only make enough portion for each of us to have what we have, and that's it. There's nothing
And
left
you're
over.
nicer than me. Also, Rita and I like the idea of leftovers because it just makes our lives much easier. So I
See,
wonder,
I
like,
love leftovers, but I don't want to eat the same meal twice in a day. So I'll make myself something and freeze it, and then I'll pull it out like a week later and eat it.
hmm, I wonder what our listeners do. Like, what do you guys do?
Yes.
Does your family eat leftovers? You giving them options? Or you just tell them to fucking eat what's in the refrigerator or die? I don't care.
See, when I was growing up, my mom didn't really cook. So leftovers for us were always like the old KFC bucket in the fridge.
Ew, that sounds really grody.
Yeah. So leftovers were never like a high priority thing. It was always like, oh, that's all we have. Like in my
Interesting.
family, from the age not as a young child, but from the age of I would say 13 all the way until 18 when I moved out. That 5 year gap, my mom didn't cook. We just ate fast food. So like if I went and got Subway, I'd get a foot long for lunch, wrap that half of it up, and take it home and eat it for dinner because there wasn't going to be dinner at home. So it
I
was like
only, that's kind of crazy. Like, I only cook 2 to 3 times a week.
I cook every single day.
No. So if it's like we have a Wednesday off, I'll cook that Wednesday for Wednesday, Thursday dinner. And then Friday, we might do like a free for all, or maybe I'll cook dinner then as well. And then I'll always cook on Saturday because Saturday I'll make enough to work into our work week for the next week so that Reed has, we call them lunches, but basically his dinner for the next 3 at least days. And same for
Yeah.
me. And then some leftover for Ramona in the refrigerator, which she never eats because she would rather
Eat
take the
frozen or
time
something
to
else.
warm up a cup of noodle instead of scooping some out of a Tupperware, even
That's
though
my
she knows that
kids.
she would prefer that, which is
That's my
kind of annoying.
kids. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They're the same way. See, and like I said, if it's something that they love, like, okay, so for Thanksgiving, that's why I made the TikTok and the reel that I made. For Thanksgiving, they wanted me to make double batches of everything because it's all the foods they love, right? What the fuck do I do? I'm an idiot. I go and make double batches of everything.
And they didn't eat any of it.
Put it into these nicely sealed, like really good containers so I know it's going to last. Put them in the back of the fridge so that they're going to be nice and cold, and remind them every fucking day they're there. You guys don't forget the Thanksgiving dinner's there. Don't forget Thanksgiving dinner. I never did I think that I would have to actually go pull it the fuck out and reheat it all and repurpose it as a meal for it to get consumed. It ended up going in the garbage. It was such a waste of food, and it was so disheartening for me. So that day I stopped making enough leftovers.
We'll get on from this. We're just like on a rant about leftovers. If you have food in the refrigerator and they're not eating it, do you feel guilty and cook them something new?
I just ignore the leftovers and cook something new because I don't want what's in the fridge either. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so you're part
I'm
of the
not a
problem.
leftover. Well, yeah, because my whole childhood leftovers were like,
you got to change your mind around that. You got to change your mind around it because sometimes leftovers are better the next day.
They are if it's like soup and stuff like that to me. Yeah.
So you got to get over that. And then once you start doing it too, then your family, because you can't expect them to do it if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Just
we'll see if that ever happens.
Well,
we'll see if you're just
save
trying
a lot
to
of money that way. Save a lot of
change
time.
everybody. Goddamn, can't you just let people be who they are, Monica?
Nope.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
You guys, she's out here changing the world one person at a time.
And I'm starting with
her.
Asia.
No, it starts with you. See, that's the only reason I take your advice is because you're actually working on yourself too, you fucking bitch. I can't say no.
I just write out like this like manifesto of like how Asia needs to change her life, and I just
all
like
the improvements Asia could make,
and I just like mail it to you, and it's in this like this taped couple of like binder notebook papers that are just together. And it's like Asia's life-changing manual,
step-by-step guide,
right? Step 1. What would be step 1? I don't know. We're getting there. I'll let you guys know when I come up with how we're going to do that manuscript.
Oh my God. That is funny shit. Yeah, no, but I think it's good because in the last year and a half that we've been really good friends and making the podcast and stuff, I feel like I've grown so much just because of your advice. It's hard not to take advice when it's well given, and also when the person's working on themselves in a pretty consistent manner all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
I practice what I preach.
Yeah.
If I'm going to tell my family to eat leftovers, I'm sure as fuck going to eat them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Perfect patty over there.
Persnickety patty? Wait, didn't you say pessimistic patty? You can't be naming patty everything.
You could put a patty anywhere.
Can ya? Can ya? Oh man. Okay, what else? Anything else going on that's big?
That's
Are we done here?
Not that's big. I mean,
oh my gosh, we have so many new guests coming up for this next
we
year.
do.
I think
It's
I'm like
big.
really obsessed with all of that.
See, that's the thing that's big is the podcast right now for us. We're not talking about that on here very much, but man, for us, we're starting to really
I
gain
think we
some
are.
ground and start to
raise your
make
hand if you're talking
moves.
about the podcast on the podcast. Our hands went up, guys.
No, I think that we're starting to do really well.
Yeah, I mean,
Firing
we've
on
been doing
all
really
cylinders.
well. I just feel like we're finally getting like enough traction maybe to have more guests, which we're really excited about for you guys because then you don't have to just listen to us talk about leftovers for 20 fucking minutes.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice? I would rather not listen to myself talk about leftovers for 20 minutes. But we have so far we have Kat's episode that's coming out in a week or so, talking about.
So excited about that episode.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's sex ed with Kat, so it's going to be really fun. And then we have an ADHD nurse and a like journal like guru
enthusiast.
Yeah, she does a lot of like women's empowerment, self-help kind of stuff.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, and then we have like a couple of other people that we are in talks with, but we haven't actually scheduled yet, so I'm pretty excited about that too.
Me too. I feel like
we got a lot coming up.
Guests are so fun. I enjoy recording with guests so much. So same. I'm pretty thrilled.
Same. I would agree with that. Yeah. Outside of that, I think everything's going good right now.
Yeah, we're just gonna get into Christmas, get through Christmas, and just right into the new year, and then boom, brand new season.
Just like 2. That, just like boom,
season 2.
Yeah, let's do it. Season 2. You guys, we're actually gonna do seasons. So come January, you'll see season 2.
Yep,
and the new podcast. Yeah, the new podcast art is going to be for this next season, and then for season 3, we'll do something different.
Yeah, we have a whole thing going, guys. So we're pretty excited about this next year.
We have a whole thing going. Oh, if you guys, this episode comes out on the 27th?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys have 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 4 days to enter the giveaway after this episode drops. So December 31st is the last day. So signing up for Patreon, that gets you an automatic entry. You also get to record with us if you win on a guest episode. And then you have like a whole bunch of fucking stuff. Like that basket is chock full. And then if you don't join the Patreon, but you still want to enter, there's another giveaway for anybody. Anybody can enter that one. And that one is also, there's a couple of things in there. I'm pretty excited about those. But yeah, the Patreon is the big one. So also make our dreams come true.
To our Patreon subscribers that are listening right now, don't forget there's other ways you guys can get further entries by getting a friend to sign up for the Patreon. You get one. You get one if you, what were the other ways? If you up a tier. If you share it.
Leave a review. If you move up a tier. Yes.
Yeah. So you can stack the chances to be on our podcast as a guest if you start now.
Yeah.
Start over the next 4 days to start to get as many people as you can on the Patreon and stuff. And
yes. And also make sure that if you do write a review, you send it to us. If you do refer, screenshot it and send it to us. If you do refer, and also you guys, the reviews, they don't take you much time and they're free and they help us like a fucking shit ton.
They really do.
If you refer somebody that joins the Patreon, make sure you take a snip of that person's information and send it to us so that we can thank you and also add you
link
for
you
that
guys
entry
together.
As well.
Yeah. So stack the chances, share them with your friends. Who knows who needs to hear our content. So just share, be like, hey, have you guys listened to podcasts? Check it out. They're having a giveaway.
Yeah.
It helps us a lot. So hope you guys had a great end of year. We hope your new year is fantabulous.
We hope you all had a great Christmas with your families.
Nice holiday.
That's okay. Not every Christmas or holiday is cheery and picture perfect.
Yes.
So give yourself some grace and remember you can move on, you can learn from things and you can do something different next year.
Yep. Exactly.
And also you can take like what societal standards are for what a holiday should look like and you can create your own.
Yeah. You can just throw those in the fucking garbage.
Yeah. Light them on fire. I don't give a shit.
Make your own.
I'm
trying that this year. I'm trying to do a couple new traditions with my nieces and nephews. So I'm hoping that it catches on and next year we have more things to do as like a family to bring us a little closer. So
absolutely love it. Thank you guys for joining us. And also thank you for making our year so special and great. We honestly couldn't do this podcast without you guys. You're literally keeping the lights on by your donations and your Patreon subscriptions and just, your input, your reviews, your listens, all
everything.
of that kind of shit. So thank you guys all for that. And see you in the new year.
Have a good one, guys.